Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm going to be showing you how to make A-Traks bass that he used in his remix of Martin Solveig's song The Night Out. But before I start, I just want to say big thanks to everyone who's been supporting me on my refill pack, which I released last Saturday. If you haven't checked it out already, I'll put a link to the demo video in the description and also where you can grab it as well. And also, digital switchover Reason Refill Volume 2 is well underway as well, I'm happy to announce. So anyway guys, I'll get back to this tutorial. So first thing you're going to want to do, as always, is create a combinator. And then today we are going to use a line mixer, the 6.2 one. And then what you want to do is hold down Shift and create a screenful distortion unit. Hit the tab key, and you're going to want to take the input and put it in the send of the mixer, take the return and put it in the output. And then what you're going to want to do is change the algorithm to fuzz, and you're going to change param 1 to 95 and param 2 you're going to want at 12. And then what you're going to want to do, make sure this is 85. Then you're going to want to take auxiliary 1 on channel 1. You're going to want to bring this up to 44. And then right click whilst holding Shift, and we're going to create a polyphonic synthesizer. Hit the Shift key again, take the left output and pop it into input, the first input of the mixer. The reason we're putting the screenful distortion as an auxiliary is because I want the clean signal to come through, and just this adds a bit more depth without, messing up the clean signal too much. It just adds a bit more seasoning to the sound, if you like. So go ahead and pop open Show Programmer. Actually, first we're going to change the keyboard mode to mono retrig, and we're going to turn the range way up to 21. Then the synth patch itself was pretty basic. It's the processing afterwards, which is what gives it the tone and character. So leave oscillator 1 as an analog sawtooth, bring it down to octave 1, and then we are going to create a state variable filter. I'm going to change it to notch, and then we are going to bring this down a couple to 64. Then the frequency we're going to leave at 2.09 kilohertz, but we're going to turn the resonance up to 101. And then we're going to bring the envelope amount down to 0. We're also going to change the shaper to a hard clip, turn it on, and just bring it up slightly to about 45. Then come down to the amp envelope. We are going to bring the attack to 0. The decay you're going to want to have at 159 milliseconds. The decay you're going to want all the way up. Sorry, the sustain you're going to want all the way up. And the release you're going to want to touch up slightly to 23.5 milliseconds. And that is the synth. I mean, if we play it now, nothing exciting. So basic synth, but now it's what's happening with the rest of it. That's going to make it sound good. So go ahead, right click on the synth, and you're going to want to create a vocoder. There we go. Bring the band down to 8 and turn it to equalizer, and then you're going to want the shift up at 33. Now I've altered in the example I showed you earlier. I altered the bands there. So if you want to pause the video and try and copy this, because they don't actually have values, so I can't tell you what the values are. But if you get it close to that, it should sound similar. Okay, so if you do that and then right click on the vocoder and create an RV7000 reverb unit. And then you're going to want the decay right down to 0, the high frequency damp you're going to want a 67. The high EQ you're going to want a 63, which is all the way up. And the dry wet you're going to want to bring down to 22. And then pop open the remote programmer, change the algorithm to small space, and then bring down the size to 1.3 meters. The mod you're going to want at 0, leave it at room 2, leave that at 54, wall you're going to want to bring down to 67, pre-delay you're going to want at 0, and the mod amount you're going to want at 0. So you can close that now. Then next up we're going to create the first of 2 screenful distortion units. So first one, leave it overdrive, make sure damage control set at 62. Param 1 you're going to want to have at 88. Param 2 you're going to want at 47. And then you're going to want to turn the body on. The res amount you're going to want to bring down to 91. Scale you're going to want to bring to 35. Auto you're going to want to touch up to 8. And you're going to want to change the type to B. And then make sure this is set to 101. That's the first screenful distortion done. So right click on it and create another one. This time we're going to use the tape function. Make sure damage at 62. Param 1 you're going to want at 115. Param 2 you are going to want at 48. And that's all we're going to do there. Then right click and create a combinator. A compressor, sorry. For the compressor you're going to want the input at 4.5 decibels. The threshold you're going to want at minus 22. Minus 22.7. Ratio you're going to leave as is. And then for the attack you're going to want to turn the soft knee on as well. For the attack you're going to want 81 milliseconds. The release you're going to want at 153 milliseconds. And output gain touch up to 5.2 decibels. And then lastly we are going to create an M-class equalizer. So turn on the low shelf, Param 1 and Param 2. So for the low shelf you're going to want to set the frequency to 204.7 Hertz. The gain you're going to want to touch up slightly to 1.1. And the Q you're going to leave as is. Param 1 you're going to want at 273, so bring that down. (273.6 Hertz). Turn up the gain to 4.9. And the Q you're going to want to bring down to 1.7. And then for Param 2 you're going to want it at 940.8 Hertz. The gain you're going to want quite high, up at 10.9 decibels. and then the Q you're gonna want down at 4, and that is the synth. So just play it for you. So, I mean, A-Trak uses a lot of the pitch bend in this synth, which gives it a nice kind of a tone. I think the main distinctive feature about this is the body of the scream on this, and you can change the tone quite easily by playing with the settings. So if you might want to automate that, or even change the type, play around with that a bit. Also the EQ, it's not really that much of a bass heavy synth for a bass synth. I'm pretty sure that A-Trak has a sub bass line going underneath this melody, so this is kind of like a top end bass, and yeah, he's got a sub going underneath it. But that is the patch. It's quite similar. It's not 100% exact, but you get the idea. And I mean, yeah, if you play around with the body especially, try out different distortions, you can really create some really cool sounds and tones with this synth. Yeah, so have fun with that one, guys, and I'll see you next week.